Hi there, my name is Brennan Caverhill, and I'm going to show you how to crop an image to 8 by 10 and export it at the correct resolution to print. The first thing that I do is choose an image, and I right-click on the thumbnail of the image in the film strip, and I create a virtual copy. This way I can edit this new image for print and leave the original image untouched. Next, I select the Crop Overlay tool. I can click this button in the top right or hit R as a shortcut. I change the aspect ratio from as shot to 8 by 10. If you're going to print it 5 by 7 or 4 by 6 or 4 by 3, you can change the aspect ratio here or customize it. So I'll choose 8 by 10 and you'll see the crop ratio changes. And then I click within the crop square and I can drag the image around, or I can even resize the crop image. I'm going to take it to actually make it a little bit bigger because I'd like to capture some of that lens flare. And I might back her up a little so that this flower comes in at the crosshairs of the rule of thirds. And maybe I'll drop it down just a little bit so that the sky to land ratio more approximates the rule of thirds as well. Once I'm happy with the crop image, I select Done. I might brighten it up a little bit, maybe add a little bit of contrast, and maybe a little bit of clarity, and increase the vibrance a little. Just some little subtle edits to make the image pop for printing. And then when I think it's all ready, I'll go File, Export, and now I have to do a little bit of work. First, I have to choose where I want this image to go. I am going to choose, for now, my desktop. I'll just send the file to the desktop so it's an easy place for me to put onto a USB key, take to the store to print. So I'll select that folder. If I wanted to put it in a subfolder, for example, 8 by 10 to print, then I can check this little box. If I didn't want it to go into a subfolder, I would just leave that unchecked. I could rename the file as well, but I'm not going to bother. Video settings I don't have to worry about. For the file settings, I don't want to limit the file size. I want it to be the highest possible quality, so I'll leave that at 100 for the JPEG quality. Image resizing. Here's where, if I wanted to shrink the image for a website or a blog, then I could resize it so that it fits that blog perfectly. But I'm not going to resize the image because it's already an 8 by 10, and I'm going to leave the resolution at 300 dpi. So that way it will be the highest possible quality for printing. If I wanted to, I could resize it to 10 inches on the long edge at 300 dpi, and actually, come to think of it, that might be the best way to do it, because then this will be exported at the perfect image size for an 8 by 10 on the long edge. I could choose width and height if I wanted to, but it's easier just to do the long edge at 300 dpi. And I'm not going to bother sharpening it. I will remove the location info, but it doesn't really matter. And I'm not adding a watermark or doing any post-processing. So really, most importantly on export, I choose where is it going to go, am I renaming it, what's the quality, and what's the size. I can also add watermarks and do some processing and a few other things, but for printing purposes, this is the best option. I click export, you see the top left, it dings when it's done, and there's my new photo that just popped up in Picasso, which I also have open. So now if I download, here's my 8 by 10 to print folder. Double click on that to open it up. And there's my image ready to print. If I were to zoom in on it, you can see that it's pretty good quality. That's only at 70%. And you can zoom out and check the aspect ratio. Looks pretty good.